from the Radio What Studios, and this is my podcast, What Makes You Smarter. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. I like to party with the people. Yes, let me entertain you. Are you not entertained? See, also, if you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. Now, on with the show. Today on the program, hey, I got some good news and history for you. I know that usually on the What Makes You Smarter on the daily, I've been doing the 10 things you need to know today, but I'm getting fed up with some of the news that's out there. I need some good news. I'm going to go with start out with the days of the year calendar. There's always something good on the days of the year calendar, and today is no exception. For Friday, August 28th, it's Bow Tie Day. How about that? Bow Tie Day. For those of you that know me and come out to my karaoke shows, you know that I'm usually wearing a bow tie, so I can dig it. Bow Tie Day, a whirring noise in the distance, followed by a male in a bow tie and a female in a summer dress running out of a blue police box, a small wooden puppet with a large blue bow tie that is still there when the puppet comes to life, or a sharply dressed man hunting around for information in order to save the world from annihilation. All three examples are notable by a bow tie that the character wears, whether it be the Doctor from Doctor Who, Pinocchio, or James Bond. Each wears a bow tie very well and accentuates it for that very character. The history of Bow Tie Day. The bow tie has its origins, not in France like many think, but in Croatia. The French military forces had seen the way the Croatian soldiers tied the necktie in order to keep the collars of their shirts together during the 30-Year War. After that, tobacco magnate Pierre Lorillard wore one to the Tuxedo Club, and his black and white fashion sense blossomed into becoming the tuxedo we currently know in fashion. Typically, the bow tie is worn as an accessory to accentuate on the neck, helping draw eyes up to the face and away from the shoulders and chest. How to celebrate Bow Tie Day? That's pretty easy. Snag a bow tie and wear it. It's that simple. Although tying a bow tie isn't. Many pieces of clothing can be paired with the flourished bow. And probably the most notable look is the button-up shirt. Sure, it may look a little dated, but the classics truly never die. Bow ties have been worn by people looking to make better impressions since the 17th century. Many characters have been notably wearing bow ties, including the ever-popular Bond, James Bond. In all of this, different actors, the bow tie is always there, giving the actor an air of distinguished quality. There has been the infamous Dr. Nye, who wears the bow tie while explaining how and why science works. His quote, "If you're working with liquid nitrogen and your tie falls into it, it's funny in a way to the audience, but it's also, pun intended, a little bit of a pain in the neck," end quote. Really drives home the differences between a necktie and a bow tie. So don't underestimate the use of this small but extremely elegant addition to your dressing up, and wear them with pride this Bow Tie Day. Now, you know at the Rab tonight, I'll be wearing a bow tie, sporting it with pride. Yeah. All right. Bow Tie Day. That's beautiful. All right. And I think that's the one thing that's going on today. Oh, wait, today is also, Daffodil Day. Do you like flowers? I like flowers. Today is Daffodil Day, Friday, August 28th. Let's see. Daffodils are a flower that have been symbolically linked to the fight against cancer for many years now, representing hope in the language of flowers. They stand for all the efforts of communities and volunteer groups in the search for a cure. As such, Daffodil Day is a day when we're reminded of all the hard work and research and encouraged to do what we can to help it. From selling those all important daffodils to raising awareness in the community of fundraising efforts, it's a day for everyone to lend their help to a very important cause. The history of Daffodil Day. It's as the first flower to bloom in spring, daffodils quickly became a symbol of hope when cancer societies started using the flower in the 1950s. The image became iconic, forever tied to the efforts of volunteers, researchers, and those who wanted to raise awareness ever since. After they were first used, daffodils became the logo of cancer societies and volunteering groups around the world. Since the 1950s, we have learned more and more about the disease, including the fact that nearly 4 in 10 people will have a cancer diagnosis in their lifetime. As such, cancer societies and awareness groups grew as we learned how to both prevent and detect cancer. From self examinations to avoiding risks like exposing skin directly to sunlight, Daffodil Days have played an important role in helping people understand the threat of cancer and what they can do to fight it. Daffodil Day has also grown to become an important fundraising day for cancer societies around the globe. Funds are raised for all kinds of purposes to contribute to cancer research, to ensure that those diagnosed with it have resources and support groups to help them live with it, and to help cancer societies spread their message even further. Nowadays, Daffodil Days happen around the world, often in conjunction with the first bloom of those flowers that have become so emblematic of the fight. How to celebrate Daffodil Day? Daffodil Day is all about showing your support for cancer research, awareness, and cancer societies who are doing their best with volunteers to raise funds. As such, it's easy to find local societies and organizations near you who can use some help. Daffodils are the flower of the day, so it's no surprise that you'll find activities dedicated to them all around. There might be a garden of hope near you, where hundreds of blooms are on display to walk around while you grab a coffee and give a little back to the volunteers. You can dedicate a daffodil to a loved one or simply to the cause, too. This can mean buying a daffodil from a volunteer group and pinning it to your clothes, joining an origami daffodil event and donating, or even creating a virtual daffodil. Naturally, the efforts of fundraising and awareness campaigners have made Daffodil Day the global event it is. So societies and volunteering groups are always on the lookout for new members and contributors. Get in touch with your local group for ideas on how you can help them specifically. That's Daffodil Day. My goodness. That's a good day. It's Bow Tie Day and Daffodil Day. And it's also, my goodness, it is Cherry Turnover Day. I got my mouth watering already. August 28th, Cherry Turnover Day. There's a quote. I'll obey them in the winter when the doctors say to me, I must give up ham and spinach, and obedient I'll be. To relieve my indigestion in December they can try, but there's none of them can stop me when it's time for cherry pie. End quote. That's Bob Dole. Bob Dole. Bob Dole likes cherry pie. Bob Dole. Cherry pie is a wonderful treat. Ooh, there's always room for pie. With the only problem of that being is it's difficult to transport and messy to boot. Wouldn't a serving size option be amazing? Cherry Turnover Day reminds us that there is such a thing that has been invented and celebrates its deliciousness. Learn about Cherry Turnover Day. Cherry Turnover Day has been created in order to honor this sweet and tasty handmade pie. These pastries, which are filled with delicious cherries, are best served hot. It's not up to us to tell you how to enjoy your cherry turnover, though. So if you simply can't wait and you want to eat your cherry pie at room temperature, go for it. Many people do. You can serve it with a nice scoop of ice cream or a generous serving of whipped cream, and it is going to take the dessert to an even higher heights of scrumptiousness, if possible. But what exactly is a cherry turnover? Well, a cherry turnover is basically a pastry that is made by placing a cherry filling inside of a piece of dough. Then you fold the dough over and seal it so the filling does not leak out. Once you've done this, you can either deep fry or bake the turnover, resulting in a deliciously flaky and golden crust, combined with sweet and warm cherries. It's really the perfect combination. Most people will agree that tart cherries are best when making pies. It's because their juices meld with sugar when baking. Cherries themselves offer a number of nutritional benefits, of course. The deep frying and the pastry probably aren't going to be good for you, but at least you're going to get some nutrients along the way. Plus, we all deserve a treat, don't we? Don't we? Cherries can help to lower the risk of heart disease because they pack an anti inflammatory punch. They also help to protect cells from damage because of the antioxidants that are present. If that wasn't enough, cherries can help to improve sleep quality, as well as improving the symptoms of gout and arthritis. They can also boost exercise recovery. The history of Cherry Turnover Day. It's hard to say when the turnover first came into existence, but we do know that the first recording instance of them was in 1440 in response to an edict preventing bakers from making cakes. So they resorted to making pies of all kinds. And this, in turn, led to the creation of the turnover by incorporating a filo pastry like substance previously invented by the Romans. From there, they've never gone out of style. And in fact, they're now incredibly popular in roadside diners and family restaurants. Cherry Turnover celebrates the best of these and encourages us to indulge. How to celebrate Cherry Turnover Day? Well, you can either go out and buy cherry turnovers for yourself and all of your coworkers, or try to make them for yourself. Because we are made of awesome and know our patrons, we offer the following recipe to get you started. Here's a recipe for cherry turnovers. Crust, 2 2/3 cups of flour. 2 2/3 cups of flour. 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. 3/4 cups of lard. 6 teaspoons of cold water. The filling, 2 cups of fresh pitted cherries, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons plus 1.5 teaspoons of cornstarch, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, glaze, 1 cup confectioner's sugar, 1/2 teaspoon vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons milk. Mix the flour and the salt in a bowl, cutting in the lard until crumbly. Slowly introduce the water, gently mixing with a fork until the dough turns into a ball. Refrigerate in plastic wrap for 30 minutes. While it chills, prepare the cherries and sugar in a large saucepan. Crush them slightly and then let them stand for about 20 minutes. Add in the cornstarch until it's blended in well, and then cook over a medium heat until boiling. Stir until thickens. Take the chilled dough and separate it into 8 portions, rolling it out into a 5-inch circle on a lightly floured surface. Add 3 tablespoons of the cherries to each circle and fold them over and press closed with a fork. Then place on a greased baking sheet and cook at 375 Fahrenheit until they turn a golden brown. Mix the confectioner's sugar, milk, and vanilla to form a glaze to drizzle over the turnovers. Of course, if you do not want to go to the trouble of baking your own cherry turnover, you don't have to. We're sure that you'll be able to find it somewhere local that serves this tasty treat. Plus, you may even find that some bakeries and food places have special recipes and offers going on to pay tribute to Cherry Turnover Day. Another fun way to celebrate Cherry Turnover Day is to get your friends together and have a bit of a bake-off. You can you can all have a go at creating your own cherry turnovers, and you can see who is able to make the best creation. You are bound to have a lot of fun and laughs along the way. You could even do a time challenge, or you could make it so people aren't allowed to follow recipes. Make sure that you have a prize waiting for the winner as well. After all, it's always fun to do something different with the people we love the most, isn't it? Isn't it? You could even make some cherry cocktails to go with the desserts you're going to be making. Oh man, that's got my mouth watering. Cherry Turnover Day. Oh, the days of the year calendar. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's Bow Tie Day, Daffodil Day, Cherry Turnover Day, Crackers over the Keyboard Day? That's just crazy. What? Who's going to eat crackers over the keyboard? There's a quote on this one. There's a secret life that passes below our fingertips every day, one full of our deepest secrets and a living testimony to everyone who has passed before. The secret life is in the dust and detritus within our keyboards. That's anonymous. We're guilty of it, even if it drives our IT personnel crazy. We eat at our keyboards, and as a result, the space between the keys gets filled with all of the crumbs of our past. Crackers over the Keyboard Day encourages you to just give up pretending and just go out and eat crackers over your keyboard. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. The history of Crackers over the Keyboard Day. Crackers over the Keyboard Day is the brainchild of those crazy holiday people, Tom and Ruth Roy, over at wellcat.com. Let's be honest, getting these crumbs and things in your keyboard aren't the best for them. But at the end of the day, they're mostly harmless. However, it also probably contains more biological ickiness than the office toilet. Ew. Think about it. Which one of the two gets cleaned nightly by office staff? Probably not the keyboard. Ooh, I need to clean my keyboard more often. Tom has been making a living as an actor and a talk show host on the radio for many years, while his magnificent wife works as a college administrator, actress, and even runs her own business selling herbs by mail order. Crackers over the Keyboard Day is just one more on their list of crazy holidays. Want to know the most interesting thing we learned about what's inside your keyboard? Well, you look at what's going on with the germs and such that grow there. It bears a striking resemblance to what's happening in your nose and stomach. Ew. How to celebrate crackers over the Keyboard Day. The best way to celebrate crackers over the Keyboard Day is to start out with a little experiment. Turn your keyboard upside down and tap it on your desk until stuff stops falling out. Warning, this is probably going to take you some time. Once you're done, take a close look at what has fallen out in front of you. It's likely going to contain a nasty combination of food crumbs, dead skin, and strands of hair. If you're lucky, you might even find that stapler that you lost a few years back. Then start adding to the collection in your keyboard by munching over it. No, that's how you celebrate crackers over the Keyboard Day. Don't do it. I encourage you not to. No. As a guy that uses keyboards daily. All right. The last thing on the days of the year, August 28th, is also Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day. Huh, what's that? There's a quote. Why are so many songs? Okay. I almost want to sing this one. Why are there so many songs? Songs about rainbows and what's on the other side. Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So I've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong. Wait and see. Someday we'll find it. The rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. That's, of course, Kermit the Frog from The Muppet Show. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's bringing back fond memories on Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day. We've all had pets that we've loved as family members, ones that were like our little furry children. But like all family members, there comes a time when they pass from this world. And often this leaves us with a profound feeling of loss and pain. Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day celebrates our fur babies who have passed before us. The history of Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day. Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day was founded by Deborah Barnes, author and blogger of Z and Zoe's Cat Chronicles, in tribute to her ragdoll cat, Mr. Jazz, who she had to say goodbye to on August 28th, 2013. She shared the journey of letting him go in her book, Her Prince of the Heart, A Cat's Tale of Life, Death, and Beyond. And the reaction from her readers was so overwhelming, she decided to create a day in his honor as a way for others across the world to share memories of their own pets that they had loved and lost, whether a pet with fur, fin, feathers, scales, or something else, one pet or many. The day is meant to honor the pet in any way that feels most comfortable. To the pet guardian, such as using social media sites to post a picture, write a poem, share a favorite memory, upload a video, write a special blog post, or other methods like creating a special outdoor memorial. How to celebrate Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day. Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day is dedicated to celebrating our past pets, and the best way to celebrate it is to have a day of remembrance for your past pets. You can also go to Rainbow Bridge and establish a digital memorial so that the world will always remember them. Our pets are such an important part of our lives that they deserve to be remembered. Whether you post it digitally online or create a memorial in your backyard, Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day is your reminder to spend some time honoring your past pets. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Now, I did want to add some history to this. That was from the Days of the Year .com calendar. I do enjoy reading stuff from there because it's usually uplifting and gives you something to do on this day in history. And as we're here still in coronavirus. Some people are still stuck at home, but we're breaking out of quarantine. So I do like to talk about the history because I go to history.com and there's that's just an amazing website. At least they'll have at least one thing that's highlighted on this date in history. So August 28th on this date in history, Emmett Till is murdered. Okay. On August 28th, 1955, while visiting family in Money, Mississippi, 14-year-old Emmett Till, an African American from Chicago, is brutally murdered for allegedly flirting with a white woman 4 days earlier. His assailants, the white woman's husband and her brother, made Emery carry a 75-pound cotton gin fan to the bank of the Tallahatchie River and ordered him to take off his clothes. The two men then beat him nearly to death, gouged out his eye, shot him in the head, and then threw his body tied to the cotton gin fan with barbed wire into the river. Who was Emmett Till? Till grew up in a working class neighborhood on the south side of Chicago, and though he had attended a segregated elementary school, he was not prepared for the level of segregation he encountered in Mississippi. His mother warned him to take care because of his race, but Emmett enjoyed pulling pranks. On August 24th, while standing with his cousins and some friends outside a country store in Money, Emmett bragged that his girlfriend back home was white. Emmett's African-American companions, disbelieving him, dared Emmett to ask the white woman sitting behind the store counter for a date. He went in, brought some candy, and on the way out was heard saying, "Bye, baby," to the woman. There were no witnesses in the store, but Carolyn Bryant, the woman behind the counter, later claimed that he grabbed her, made lewd advances, and wolf whistled at her as he sauntered out. The Emmett Till murder. Roy Bryant, the proprietor of the store, and the woman's husband returned from a business trip a few days later and heard how Emmett had allegedly spoken to his wife. Enraged, he went to the home of Till's great uncle, Mose Wright, with his half brother, J.W. Milam, in the early morning hours of August 28th. The pair demanded to see the boy despite pleas from Wright. They forced Emmett into their car. After driving around in the night, and perhaps beating Till in a tool house behind Milam's residence, they drove him down to the Tallahatchie River. 3 days later, his corpse was recovered, but was so disfigured that Mose Wright could only identify by an initialed ring. Authorities wanted to bury the body quickly, but Till's mother, Mamie Bradley, requested it be sent back to Chicago. The open casket funeral. After seeing the mutilated remains, she decided to have an open casket funeral so that all the world could see what racist murderers had done to her only son. Jet, an African American weekly magazine, published a photo of Emmett's corpse, and soon the mainstream media picked up on the story. Less than 2 weeks after Emmett's body was buried, Milam and Bryant went on trial in a segregated courthouse in Sumner, Mississippi. There were few witnesses besides Mose Wright who positively identified the defendants as Emmett's killers. On September 23rd, the all-white jury deliberated for less than an hour before issuing a verdict of not guilty, explaining that they believed the state had failed to prove the identity of the body. Many people around the country were outraged by the decision and also by the state's decision not to indict Milam and Bryant on the separate charge of kidnapping. Carolyn Bryant confesses. The Emmett Till murder trial brought to light the brutality of the Jim Crow segregation in the South and was an early impetus of the civil rights movement. In 2017, Tim Tyson, author of the book The Blood of Emmett Till, revealed that Carolyn Bryant recanted her testimony, admitted that Till had never touched, threatened, or harassed her. Quote, "Nothing that boy did could ever justify what happened to him," end quote, she said. Whew. All right. Sometimes on this date in history, it reminds us how cruel that we can be to each other. I encourage you not to be so cruel to each other. I know we're going to fight. I know we're going to bicker. I know we're not always going to agree with each other, but there's no reason to kill over it. No, I don't believe that there's ever any reason to kill over it. You may want to, but refrain. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Take care of each other. First you got to take care of yourself, make sure that your mind's right, and then take care of each other. Take care of somebody else. So that I try to do that on the daily. Take care of myself. Make sure I'm good. Okay, everything good. I've taken care of what I need. I'm living healthy as I can. All right. Now I have to take care of other people. Got to take care of each other. Wow. Okay. On today's date in history, kind of brought it down. I brought it out to a downer. I know I started with the days of the year, and those are kind of fun. But then, hey, sometimes history reveals we can be very, very bad to each other from time to time. I'll try not to be bad to anyone. I try to be happy. I keep a happy outlook. I keep a cheerful outlook most of the time. I mean, I know that can't be good for you too. Sometimes it's bad to keep it all bottled up, and which is why I'm happy to have my family with me. Those are the people that you can confide with. But sometimes you'll unload on your immediate family, and it's kind of hard on them too. So you got to sometimes you got to ease into it. Maybe you have some really bad news to tell. Kind of ease into it. Take a few breaths. Maybe take a little 20-minute siesta, a little nap to kind of think about things. Maybe meditate, and then you can go to your family for some advice, and maybe go through a therapist for advice, or a preacher, or somebody you trust. Somebody that you can talk to. But man, stop this killing. Stop this killing. I've never killed anybody. That I know of. No, I've never killed anybody. There's no reason in my mind to kill anyone. But I mean, I know there's bad people out there, and there is a death penalty. I've gone back and forth over the years, wondering, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Is anyone ever so bad that they have to be put to death? Yeah, I guess there's arguments on both sides. There's people that have killed a lot of people, and sometimes they cannot be rehabilitated. What do you think? What do you think? I'm trying to make myself smarter, and maybe you can help in that respect, making me smarter. Drop me some comments, leave me a review, and subscribe. If you like the conversations, it's the conversation starters that I'm having. Looking at that date in history, the story of Emmett Till, definitely that's a hard one. That's a hard pill to swallow in our history. uh, the racial divide that we're going through it now. Now, I did hear there was one white lady that I think she might have been on The View. Man, I need to look further into that. But she had she was quoted, or I'm watching the video and I'm seeing, we're all black. We're all from Africa. 300 or 500,000 years ago, we all came from Africa. So we're all black to some respect, or African American, or African to some respect. We're just different shades of black. I mean, I'm a more pale black in comparison. So really, there's only one race. Africans or blacks is the one race. We're just lighter shades over the years. It's been widely realized, and people, scientists do believe that everybody came from Africa 300 or 500,000 years ago, from the women of Africa. So they were darker, and we came from them. So we just lightened up as we got out into the world and didn't need so much melanin. Ooh, controversial much? Maybe. I know there's some people out there that would find that a hard pill to swallow. What do you think about that? What you think about that? All right. Hey, if you'd like to tell your story, or just tell me what you think, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. You could be a part of the show. I'd love to interview you, find out your views on things. I like having good discussions with people. But this is What Makes You Smarter. I know usually I'm doing, the 10 things you need to know today, but I wanted to lighten it up a little bit. At least in the beginning, it was kind of light. And then at the end, when I look on this date in history, hey, sometimes it's not going to be cool. It's not going to be great. But we do have to remember the history that we've had, the things that we've done. Because if we don't learn from history, we're doomed to repeat all the mistakes that we've made. I know somebody else in the past has said that more eloquently than I have, but yeah, I do believe that to be true. So take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. This has been What Makes You Smarter. I'm KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.